Hey, what's up, folks? My name is William Coke Jr. I am, in the phase of becoming a concept artist. I have many other skills: engineering, technician, salesman from Buffalo, New York. Shout out to Buffalo. A lot of us Buffalonians need to be more on social media, try to keep this positive. But today I'm here to talk about how to edit in Flash, edit your concepts in Flash. As you can see, what I'm doing right here is a video game I'm working on, a 2D video game that I'm working on. And in the video game, I have different concepts. Let me zoom out. Yeah, that's the video game. One of these, this right here seems like it's a little trash, so I have to do that all over again. I'm editing. I drew these. See this jet right here. What you would do is it helps to have a regular mouse. I don't like the Apple mouses made by Apple computers. It's best to have a PC mouse where you can right click. So I right click and I went to free transform. After I right click and went to free transform, you would get this fuzzy dotted display of a of your pictorial drawing, not pictorial drawing, but of your picture. And I edited that. Let me make it in. Let me enlarge it for you. That's a jet. There's going to be a video game called Tech 9 Odds Against Us. And with the video game, it talks about I have to go back because it seemed like it took away. It's very sensitive, very sensitive. It took away some of the picture, so. And will be animated in between. And what you do for a video game, when you're making a video game, what you want to do is you want to, how should I say, what you want to do is you want to animate the gameplay as the research that I did. You want to animate the gameplay as well as make the game in the same software and actually program some of the gameplay through specific stages to give examples of how the game will be playing. Different agents. Like this agent right here is a regular villain, and this agent right here is the boss at the end of the stage. This is the big boss, And I figure he'd be bigger and badder. Like World War II, they had a lot of big machines, but clumsy. But the machines were clumsy in how they were operated. I figured that the drawing style would be in as like I'm drawing a comic book. Everything be inked. I did it with a Sharpie, but the drawing style is considered free association. And in that drawing style, you have an older drawing style of like the Renaissance or the Art Nouveau era. More so the Art Nouveau era. Keep it young and fresh, youthful looking. Let me get back to the tutorial. Let me zoom in. And some of what you do, it doesn't matter how you did it. It doesn't really matter how much you edited when you were editing. If you chopped off some of the drawing, long as you don't have, say, uh, this going on, because that messes up the drawing. So I'm gonna take a step back. And what you're doing is you're editing, erasing. You change the color, but I won't change the color. I'm kind of new at this. You will be getting more tutorials from me. You guys probably already knew to do that, huh? Go figure, huh? I guess I gotta work harder. And you're just editing. You know, Flash games are still in demand. Those still sell, even though Apple doesn't use it anymore. I forgot specifically what format of Apple that does. Yeah, the iPhones. The iPhones don't use Adobe Flash anymore, but it's still relevant. Software. I don't know what software is irrelevant, like how most CAD positions are replaced with CNC machinery, but those positions are still in demand. Like I said, I was an engineer and technician and a draftsman. And what you want to do conceptually is you want to have those skills transferred over. Anything you do in art and concept art, you want those skills to transfer over. Because it all helps in the development of what you're doing. I went to school for a long time, and it paid off. I finally got the drawing skills, and I finally, you know, developed certain skills that I need to develop to get the means that I needed. I haven't made a lot of money at this, but I got notoriety. Been doing different gigs. You know, I did a fashion gig. I got notoriety in my local newspaper. Independent newspaper noticed me for that fashion gig. Shout out to Lamar Pace. Oh, shout out to my mentor, Alonzo Von 3. He's doing big things. He did big things, but he's looking for that comeback. And as an artist, you might feel like you need to reinvent yourself. You might need to reinvent yourself. But where I fail as an artist is that I don't draw every day. Because I often job hunt. I'm a salesman right now. And I'm getting better as a salesman. In art, you got to sell yourself. And if you spend that financial aid, as Feng Zhu said, if you spend that money and go to those design schools, it'll pay off and it will. Because my resume is so versatile right now. I'm not bragging. I'm just showing you how far I've come. Because I couldn't always draw like this. You know? I didn't think I'd get that far. Thought I'd always be struggling as a designer financially. Who knows what else designers go through mentally. The war that rages inside as a designer. Different things that you've been through growing up. Parents putting you through things. When I was growing up, we always had to go to church. Yeah, we had to go to church a lot. And I was one of the religious kids in a Pentecostal church. I was one of the religious kids. And Going to church is a lot of responsibility. I had a lot of responsibility. Parents make you give your tithes and offering. That taught me responsibility, kind of like paying bills. But the forces of the universe happen to work its way out for a young Jedi like myself. And it's a blessing to meet different people in the field. I met people from Marvel who critiqued my portfolio. And now, as I'm developing more as a comic book artist, conceptual artist, or what have you, I realized that my portfolio needed to be more and more presentable in the concept phase, different concept phases. And that's what hindered me from different positions. It's not so much what I'm saying in the email, it's more so how my work is presented. And that portfolio, framed properly. And I could have had those positions and colored in Photoshop. Like how I chopped that off just now, how I'm chopping this off, that don't matter. Long as it don't look too choppy, but it's no real close-ups in a video game display when a game is being played. I'm trying to see who messaged me on Facebook. Nobody really. Facebook. I mean, when you're on Facebook and on a daily basis, when you're a concept artist trying to build that portfolio for a client, it's all about having a good diet and being positive and being the best you can be on a daily basis. I know a lot of the people don't get into Facebook, but I'm one of those technical professionals who is into Facebook and who does care about what people think about my work, and I do try to get noticed. And I realized that I needed to try a little bit harder and trust myself with my own format on how I sell myself and sell my work. Because I had a hard time trying to sell my work and sell myself on Facebook and getting those likes. They say likes are for suckers, I guess. But, you know, it's not about the likes. If you feel like you made an impact, you get the likes. If you just running your mouth out of desperation and you're tired, people not paying you no attention because they like to see when people get their work done. This is a drone, military drone in the game. Tech 9 odds against us as I drifted off into my conversation. I'm sorry. But in the game, Tech 9 odds against us. It's a rebel jet. Where is it? Oh, it's way up here. It's a rebel jet fighting against the city, and it's a lot of police brutality, and it has a social justice thing to the game. I felt like that was something. It wasn't something that's sensitive in my life, but it's something that's getting a lot of attention, like Black Lives Matter. And America is going to pull through this situation. We pull through different situations. We're going to pull through this one. Maybe, hopefully, it's going to be less popular to riot, because rioting didn't ever solve anything. It just made the situation worse. And I don't know what these people think they're getting done by rioting. I know they're angry and scared, but they need to come to a resolution of what should be done besides taking the anger out on the community, like in Baltimore. It's a war zone in Baltimore right now. I'm glad I don't live there. New York State has high standards, and I doubt riots would carry itself the way it would because it's really a concrete jungle around here. It really is. And in art, you have to consider the social justice theme of when you create. I'm almost done with this one. Let me get a close up. I really talk a lot, don't I? Trying to keep you entertained. Kind of wish this game was done in 3D. It'd be a lot hotter. But it's a renegade game type street game. Co-ops, spies. I like co-ops, heroes and spies. Those games sell, and those are hard to do. Once in a blue moon, you might see something like that for a video game concept. That stuff really sells. And that's what concept art is really based out of. An ordinary person changing the world, social justice, different things like that. And to enhance your drawing skills, to get your own drawing style, because that is what's going to sell you, your own drawing style. You will develop your own drawing style at art school. I went to Villa Maria. Shout out to Villa Maria. I went there. First, I went to a community college called ECC, Erie Community College. I went there, and I took those drawing classes, but I took the same drawing classes over at Villa Maria, and I wound up getting my drawing style. And most of my work was done in ink. I could really get very loose with ink pen. But it pays to learn Gestalt principles, breaking it, even Gestalt psychology, which is something that I need to get back to. Cleaning this up. Next, I'll be animating this. I'll be doing a different tutorial. Yeah, I'm a salesman. I'm about to close on my first sale at this position that I have now as an account executive. I'm telling you, if you spend 8 years in school, going to school for art, drafting AutoCAD, and animation, graphic design, studying this stuff, it's impressive to employers. So your are art skills are highly coveted. Highly coveted. And employers really like that. Art, when it comes to art and concept art, that's management skills. That's mid-level management. You have that down, and then if you have a degree, most people that go so far in school don't have a degree. I don't have a degree. I have 90 credits. That's about it. After a certain time, I couldn't really do it anymore. I went back to school, and I had withdrew. But when I went back to school, it was going to be for mechanical engineering technology. Kind of shifted for a second. It was going to be for mechanical engineering technology. And I left because I felt like, it would take more work. And what's the point in doing more work when you feel like you've done enough work? I'm inspired about doing games and doing these tutorials and getting my work out there. It's about time for it. I have other skills that I need to get started. And I wouldn't advise drawing with a mouse. I'm doing this with a mouse right now. But I wouldn't advise drawing with a mouse and Flash. I would advise drawing the concepts out and then scanning them and then coloring them. In Photoshop, a friend of mine mentioned that I should have certain work done to this, like more special effects. But the special effects would be in the game. That'd take away. I feel like all the gradients would take away from the work, and the gameplay had its special effects. You have to figure out how to get in Premiere and do the special effects. Adobe Flash has special effects as well. Shout out to my buddy Charles Quinney, who goes to Savannah College of Art and Design for his master's in animation. Yeah, he's doing a lot of work right now. Animation is a lot of work to push yourself to be that conceptual. Just need to draw every day for the drawing skills and read often, as Fang Zhu said. I figure I start reading British literature. I'm reading The Secret Agent right now, and it's about the story of it's similar to the game I'm working on now, Tech Nine Eyes Against Us. Let me do a zoom out. It's similar to the game working on now, Tech Nine Eyes Against Us, because in Secret Agent by Joseph Conrad, which was a British writer, they wrote about how the world was changing, and it was more of a journalistic approach to the themes that they were talking about. And journalism is heavy, and journalism is changing right now in America with Donald Trump and everything, and that won't last too long. I don't think it will with fake news. Fake news will be there. But that's just disgraceful. You know, I don't personally have a problem with Donald Trump, but I know he's a bad guy. Some things you can't really do too much about, but bully that person into the right character. Keep talking about it until they change, until they do the right thing. Cause I guess he refuses to do the right thing. My TV was stolen, so I can't really watch the news. I can watch it on my phone though. You always want to have a reality element to your art, and even concept art. Even if it's about aliens, what aliens can do to the world. And that in a specific book by what's his name, Isaac Asimov, The Foundation and the Empire, I felt like he was writing a lot about Russia, the foundation as a socialism, a fascist old world of barbarians. I only got so far in the book, I believe, to the part where they were at war. And it's a good book. I recommend everybody to read that book because sci-fi can be political, and that's what keeps it interesting, that political aspect, politics, and how the hero changes the world. But illustration is very important, how the hero changes the world on a fantasy level because there's no limits. There's no limits. That was unfortunate about that splice just now. Hopefully they can't tell from a distance. That's part of the drawing style, and I figure I have my drawing style look that way on purpose. Comment below and let me know what you think about the tutorial. I'm almost done. I really want to quit it right now. It's taking so long. And don't wait to be discovered. Do not wait to be discovered. Discover yourself and work hard every day. I mean, I see what Kanye West is saying, but, you know, he has a problem with being realistic. And as an artist, you have to be realistic. That's what his flaw is in what he's saying and with the trauma that he's going through. That's unfortunate. As an artist and as a concept artist, as an engineering technician, you've got to be realistic, highly realistic. Realism, not like realism in the style, but to enhance your realism, you can read a lot. Your real reality of the world, your perspective and the globalization of the world. I truly believe Kanye West is a failure. He's not a failure as a fashion designer, but as a businessman, as a mogul, I believe he's a failure. But that's the tutorial. He's going to be a little bit bigger as a draw. And that's the itty bitty jet. Ah, boy. Another background that I had. Okay, that completes the tutorial. Tech 9 Odds Against Us is the video game that I'm editing right now. Next tutorial should be about tweens and putting storyboard on the stage. These two will be the first storyboard, and how these two guys come in the gameplay. It's not that much flying. Well, it should be that much flying because he'll fly past these two stages, and I want the sun to go up and down. The seasons to change, which would be nice with day and night, which would be really nice, really cool for the game. I believe the game has a lot of good visual elements going on, good architecture, good aeronautical vehicles. But yeah, that's the tutorial.